So we never talked about Snowflake or any of those?
We'll get it. It's on. We'll get into it.
Okay.
So you want to talk about Snowflake? Okay. I'll bring it up. Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show here today. We've talked about a lot of different topics in the stock markets, also opportunities that us as regular investors can take advantage of with this great volatility. So congratulations to those that have got set up for that free investing class that we do locally right here in Denver, Colorado, but also Bloomington, Minnesota. If you missed it, call 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets. That's 888-682-6466. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. So, Al, in that last segment, we talked about retirement accounts, your 2 buckets. You have your income bucket and you have your wealth bucket. And I think I want to continue that discussion because a lot of people are worried about these markets.
Sure.
Especially people that are getting close to retirement, maybe in their 50s, but also people that are retired, getting into their 60s and 65 or so. These people are thinking about, okay, what happens? What if the market continues to go down? We're down roughly 10%, which if you have $100,000, you've already lost $10,000. I don't know your world, but I like to think that's a lot of money. So there are strategies to actually insure your portfolio, right? So let's talk about those option strategies to protect what you have. And then after that, we're going to get into some strategies with that stock Snowflake that we talked about,
right.
And then we'll continue that discussion. So what are some strategies to protect portfolios?
Yeah, in that last segment, you talked about a car and, how managing risk in a car with a seat belt and, honoring stop signs and stoplights. You also, if you're driving a car, you also have insurance in that car. But you don't know for sure. 100%, you don't know that you're going to have an accident or need to use that insurance. Same thing with your house. You have insurance on your house, yet you don't know 100% that you're going to need to use the insurance on your house.
But you do it.
But you have that insurance anyways. But with your portfolio, do you know 100% there will be time periods where it will go down in value? Absolutely. But that's the one thing that you don't have insurance on, most of you. And how do you do that? Well, there are option strategies that you can use that are essentially the same thing as having an insurance policy. It's typically using a put option. We show you how to do that. We talk about that in these free classes that Josh has been talking about. It's even better than an insurance policy because it's almost like you can have an insurance policy on, let's say your next door neighbor built a house on an underground stream and has 2 kids that are pyromaniacs. Well, what if you could have insurance on your neighbor's house? That's one you probably would use. In the markets, in the financial markets, you can do that. You can have insurance on a portfolio that you don't even own. But you want to make sure that's one of the 3 important things in retirement is that you protect what you have. It's an easy strategy. We show you how to do that. The other one is how to generate income. You can also use options to generate income in your retirement accounts. And then how to grow that retirement account. That article I mentioned in that last segment, Josh, where it talked about the majority of elderly people lost money or didn't make any money in their 401ks last year.
Yep.
The follow-up on that particular study, and it's almost the same thing. Every study that I look at that deals with retirement says this. It's better to look for cuts you can make to your budget now to prepare your nest egg for the future, instead of being forced to make uncomfortable sacrifices later in life. But then what happens, you go into retirement and they say, now you have to make more cuts. That's not what you want to do. If you learn how to utilize the market, and here's the thing, I hear this, I think in the last 2 weeks I've heard this maybe 10 times from people that have come in. Their goal is to learn how to generate income with additional sources of income, not additional jobs, but additional sources of income. Your job is one source of income if you're still working, but you can use the stock market as one source. You can use the futures market as another source, the foreign exchange market as a source, the options market as a source, the cryptocurrency market, the real estate market. There's all sorts of choices out there, but the goal is to not just have one source of income, because if something happens to that source of income, what do you do? Well, it's the same thing in retirement. Your income from your job is gone. That's one source that's gone, but you have all these other opportunities, and those are things that you can use in different market directions. One of the great things that our students one of their goals is to self-direct their retirement accounts when they retire. To get out of that 401k that has high fees that you're paying, and you're paying that for really no guidance and no support. So you're already managing your own retirement accounts in a 401k or 403b. Why not just set up a self-directed account that does not have fees, gives you the opportunity to invest in things that can go benefit you in an up market, a down market, and a sideways market, and have that protection.
Yeah, and that's what investors are looking for, is to have a longer term perspective on the money, not the strategy. And that's where it brings longevity in the markets. And Al, I got to just talk about this for a second because it kind of makes me laugh. We've been talking a lot about longevity in the financial markets, and I swear there's a lot of people listening to our show. We have thousands of people listening to our show, and I just got to add, from one of those gurus online, those gurus, those one-man bands, and it says, longevity in trading requires ... So I feel like they're like, we bring a lot of different concepts and techniques to the radio, and I think a lot of people, even gurus are listening to us because we talk about how the markets actually function. It's not a get rich quick thing. It's how to learn the techniques and strategies and see what those are to bring longevity in the financial markets. So if you need longevity in the markets, if you're looking to protect what you have in your retirement accounts, as Al is talking about in 401ks, IRAs, and have insurance on your portfolio, there's strategies for that. Call 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets for an investing class. We're local. We have hands-on academies right here in Denver and also Bloomington. Call 888-682-6466. Also, for those texters, if you'd like to make it easy, just text the word invest to the number 484848. And Al, I know you wanted to bring up that stock called Snowflake. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny. The stock IPO'd roughly at $228 per share, roughly. And it went up to about $428, now down 50%, almost 51% from that high at about $213. So it's lower than what it IPO'd at. So there's great opportunities in these big swings in the markets. By the way, a thing to worry about or be concerned about, the majority of stocks in the S&P 500, I believe it is, are down and down big.
Correct. Yep.
And what's happening is the market, hasn't dropped as much. There might be some potential downward moves. That's why in that earlier you were talking about protecting what you have. Talk a little bit more about income strategies, especially with stocks with options like Snowflake.
Yeah, well, let's look at Snowflake as an example. That's a cloud-based software firm. In one day last week, they actually came out with earnings. Their earnings were not bad. They had an upbeat fourth quarter result in their earnings. However, their revenue forecast for 2023 was dismal. The stock was down over $40 in one day. That's a huge impact that's one share.
That's about 15% roughly.
That was about 15.3% exactly, but that's a huge move in one day. That also happened to Facebook a few weeks ago. Yeah. It was the biggest drop in the history of that company in one day. So you're going to see volatility like that. This year, 2022, probably into 2023, maybe even into 2024, we're going to see this huge volatility. We're seeing moves that are unbelievable in these markets, Josh. We've seen several days in February where we had 1,500-point swings in the Dow. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that it was up 1,500 points or down. It means that maybe it was up 200 or 300 points, down 200 or 300 points, up 500 points. This volatility is great for short-term traders because it just presents more opportunities for us.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, just as you're talking about that, most people, especially in that, I think it was the first or second segment, you were talking about the buy and hold and buy and hope. Well, there's option strategy, and sorry, to go back at that, that is 100% at risk in the market. When you just put all your money in the market, mm-hmm. that's 100% at risk. Will it go to zero? Hopefully not, but there's been stocks that have. Well, option strategies gives investors a max risk. There's strategies
Correct.
For that.
Yep.
But also it allows investors to use less capital. And I know when you talk about that in these investing classes, people really gravitate towards those option strategies. They want to learn more about them. How can you cap your risk? How can you minimize risk? And that's what it's all about, in trading and investing, especially for short-term income strategies, but also longer-term wealth strategies. And Al, it's getting close to the end of the show. We had a great discussion about how the markets work today, what's happening in the world might impact the markets, and different ways investors can learn the strategies to at least have the opportunity to live the life that they choose to live. And we have investing classes right here in Denver and also Bloomington where you teach and you talk about how these markets work, different ways to utilize these markets, but how to really, I guess, have longevity in the financial markets. So one last set of tickets for this investing class, call 888-682-6466. When you call right now, that's the end of the show, you're going to receive 2 tickets plus a quick start kit, a financial quick start kit that includes some free stock picks. Call right now, 888-682-6466. For those texters, just text the word invest to the number 484848. Al, great day today talking about the financial markets. You always have some great wisdom. Let's talk about the OTA tip of the week.
Okay, you know what, Josh? More and more now we're hearing people say, I wish I had learned this years ago, or at least learned this before the market volatility just hit. And some people hesitate because there isn't a guarantee of success. And as a result of that, they miss out on the possibility that there is a solution for them. They're just basically settling for status quo, settling for mediocrity. At the OTA, what we do, we emphasize people's challenges, the issues and the challenges you have and the impact of those challenges. We concentrate on that so we can then concentrate on a solution that results in a change for you.
That's the thing. If you want to change in life, you might have to do different things. 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets for the free investing class right here in Denver and also Bloomington. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.